The United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of North America Apprenticeship and Training Fund presents Basic Skills, a pre-apprenticeship training program. This Basic Skills module introduces the pre-apprentice to the use of hand tools in cutting operations. Upon completion of this module, the trainee will know how to use saws, wood chisels, planes, knives, and aviation cutters. Whenever you use hand tools, follow these general construction rules. Wear ear protection when required. Wear safety glasses, and wear a hard hat to avoid head injuries. If your hair is long, secure it so it won't get caught in tools and equipment. Wear safe clothing and secure your sleeves. Keep sharp tools in a carrying case and not in a pocket. Keep pathways clear of materials and obstacles. Handle materials safely, and watch out for others in the area. Upon completion of this unit, the trainee will know how to use these hand saws to make straight and curved cuts: the crosscut saw, the rip saw, and the coping saw. Use a crosscut saw to cut straight lines that cross the grain. Use a rip saw when the line runs with the grain of the lumber. Crosscut and rip saws have three main parts: the blade, the handle, and the cutting teeth. Saw teeth are set or bent to alternate sides to make the cut wider than the thickness of the blade. This cut through the wood is called the kerf. Crosscut teeth score the wood, then the edges of the teeth slice a groove. When the saw is sharp and the teeth are properly set, the saw will not bind or become stuck in the wood. Before you make a cut, first secure the material. To start a cut, place the saw blade on the waste side of the line. Place your thumb against the blade as a guide to keep the blade on the line. Gently pull the saw backward to start the cut. Hold the saw at a 45-degree angle. Use light pressure and short strokes to push the blade through the kerf. If the saw moves away from the line, twist the handle slightly to keep the blade on the line. As you finish the cut, lighten the pressure on the blade to prevent the wood from splintering. Use the rip saw to cut with the grain of the wood. Rip saw teeth are filed straight across, as if each tooth were a small chisel. Like a crosscut saw, the teeth of a rip saw are set to make the kerf wider than the blade. Use your thumb as a guide when you start a rip saw. Hold the saw at a 60-degree angle and use smooth, long strokes. Some wood has a tendency to lead the blade away from the line. Guide the saw firmly to prevent the blade from straying from the line. The length of the blade and the number of teeth per inch determine the size of the saw. The number printed or stamped on the blade indicates the number of teeth per inch. A 5.5-point saw has 5.5 teeth per inch. The more teeth per inch, the finer the finished cut. A coarse cutting saw has fewer teeth. Use the coping saw to cut curves in wood. A coping saw has three main parts: the handle, the frame, and the blade. The coping saw's narrow blade lets you cut small curves without binding the blade. The coping saw cuts effectively with little pressure. By turning the handle and frame pins, you can rotate the blade to follow the cut and keep the frame out of the way. Hold the frame steady to keep the blade from twisting and breaking. Too much pressure will break the blade. Stop the videotape now and go to the practice exercises in the workbook.